Hey guys, welcome to a new tutorial. My name is Snipes. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make your VM stealthy. This is my method on how to make it stealthy since I know Jim Broning made a video on this. He gave you these two registry edit files for virtual machine. This is only, for VMware, sorry. So these files, yeah, they don't work anymore, unfortunately, I guess. VMware updated their files, so every time you run, let's actually run the registry file edit. So this is the registry editor file that he gave you for VMware. Now if we go into control panel, uninstall the program, its original name was Microsoft CC, Visual CC 2005, blah, 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 but it still says VMware Tools and VMware Inc. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to, well, basically disable control panel and make it so a scammer won't be able to see it. Now, this method, you don't have to disable control panel. There is a way to restrict certain features in control panel, but the easiest method is probably disable control panel. It's going to confuse the scammer a bit, but I'm going to show you that in a minute. I have tested this out, and before we get into it, guys, before you do anything, make sure you make a snapshot of your virtual machine. You can do that by going to VM, and then you can, where's it? Snapshot. Take a snapshot, and then you can always, if you screw something up, you can always revert back to the previous version or before you made any changes, because we are going to be messing with some core Windows functions. So make sure you do that before you do anything else. All right, so now that you got that done, what you're going to do is you're going to download the file in the description. It's a MediaFire link, so you should be able to download it with a green button. Just click download. It's only a few megabytes. I think it's actually only 20 megabytes. All right, so you're going to open that up. You can either use WinRAR, 7-zip, whatever, anything that can extract RARs. You're just going to drag the folder out in the desktop or wherever you want it to be honest. It doesn't have to be in the desktop, but yeah, make sure you can find it. So basically, you're just going to open the file, and what we have here is the files we're going to need for this tutorial. Now, I'm just going to use restore real quick so I can get rid of this virtual thing, Visual Studios. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to first install Take Ownership. Basically, what this is going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to take control of the Windows files, specifically System32, because that's what we're going to need to we're going to need to modify that. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to install that, double click it, click run, and then we're going to go ahead over to our files. Let's see. Never ever mess with anything in System32 on a real computer. I just got to throw that out there before any of you decide to mess it up. I would never suggest doing this on an actual computer, as this could screw something up really bad. So what I'm actually going to go ahead and do is I'm going to do run, and that's actually the command we're going to need later. msinfo 30 msinfo. I can't spell. All right, so I can't spell. Fudge. MS info 32. There we go. All right, so I didn't use the reflect host, but yeah, even if I used reflect host, sometimes it still gives the BIOS version as VMware. That's just a version of I think it's because of the version of the file I used. It wasn't the best one. So basically, it doesn't reflect the host. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to disable system information, which is basically msinfo32. Now, to do this, what we're going to need to do is going to right-click under system information. This, you don't have to do this step, but I'm just going to do this for the sake of the tutorial. And you're going to right-click, properties, open file location, and you're going to see the executable file for msinfo32. Now, what we're going to need to do before we actually delete it, we're going to need to take ownership of System32. So to do that, all we're going to do is we're going to back out to Windows, and we're going to right click, and if you installed the tool correctly for take ownership, you should get an option to, well, take ownership of the file. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit that, click yes, and it's going to run through all the files in System32 and give us administrative access to delete them. So it's going to take maybe a minute or two depending how fast your VM is. So yeah, just give it a second. Alright, so now that we got that done, we should be good to delete it. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna do run again, enter, MS-Info32, enter, and then what I'm gonna go ahead and do is right click, do the same thing we did before, open file location, and I'm gonna close it of this first, and then just delete. Alright, so if you did it correctly, you should just be able to delete it with no issues, and then empty it into the recycling bin. So now when a scammer would type run and do MS-Info32, hit enter, Windows cannot find MS-Info32, make sure you type the name correctly, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. So now they won't be able to view your system information that way, but they can still go into what is it, control panel, and then system information. Yeah, they can still do it that way, but it's not going to give them any core system or information like your host or whatever. Sorry, I'm just rambling on at this point. But anyways, what we're going to need to do is we're going to disable control panel. We don't have to do this, like I said before, but it's just VMware Tools doesn't like to go away. So we're going to need to make it go away, or at least we're going to try and mask it before we actually remove control panel. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and install CC Cleaner. I included the setup. You can go download it from the website if you want to, but yeah, I just put it in there for convenience. Yeah, just run the setup. We don't need that right now, so install. Basically, with CC Cleaner, it allows you to rename a program. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to rename VMware Tools to something else. It's still going to have the same icon, but we can rename it to something like, I don't know, visual, let's see, I'm trying to think. Visual manipulator. I don't know. Virtual, no, wait. I wouldn't suggest going with anything with a virtual in it. I don't know, you can use vortex modifier. Let's just go with that. It's gonna take a second to install. So in the meantime, what we're gonna do is we're going to go ahead and we're gonna go to control panel, and we're actually gonna delete the executable for this one as well. So you're going to do the same thing you did with system information. Okay, that's installed. So run CC Cleaner, and you're just gonna delete the executable and empty recycling bin. So if we go back to control panel, as you can see, it still works. Now there is still another step we'll do, but I will show you that after I show you how to rename VMware Tools. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to head over to CC Cleaner and drop down the tools, and here you can click on VMware Tools and rename. Now I'm going to name it let's see, Vortex. Let's see if I can spell Vortex Modifier. That is bad spelling. There we go, Vortex Modifier. So just something completely random. And as you can see, if we go back, uninstall it, it's renamed to Vortex Modifier. Now, you can leave it like this, but what we're going to need to do before that is we're going to organize, click on Organize, Layout, and then uncheck detailed panel, and then you're also going to want to right click under name or wherever over here, and then uncheck publisher. Now it's just going to say vortex modifier, whatever you put there. It's just going to say that. So you can trick a scammer by doing that. I don't know which tool this is. I don't know where it came from. Yeah, you can try to trick a scammer like that, but honestly, it still says VM there, and if they know what it looks like, well, they're probably going to suspect something suspicious. So yeah, I'm going to disable control panel. Now to do this, we're actually going to need to head over to run, and actually I had the command pulled up here, but it's also in the RAR. So what you can do is you can copy and paste a command into command prompt. Now this won't work every single time. I've tried it with another version of Windows. I think it was Windows 7 Home, and I'm using Windows 7 Ultimate now, but Windows 7 Home, it just didn't work. I don't know why this command didn't work, but if it does work for you, then you should get this little menu pop up saying local group policy editor. This is what we're going to need to use. If you don't get that pop up, well, that's unfortunate, and I honestly wouldn't know how to fix that. But what we're going to need to do is we're going to head over to close out that. We're going to head over to administrative templates. Then we're going to click the drop down control panel. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to click on prohibit access to control panel. Now, if you double click on that, this is basically going to allow us to restrict access to control panel. So basically a scammer, when they would try and run it, it would give them an error. And I'm actually going to show you guys this in a second, but let's just close out control panel for now. So what we're going to want to do is you're going to go and click enable and then apply, then okay. So now we've restricted access to control panel. Now here's the interesting part. So when you go over, you won't see control panel anymore. So even if you type in control panel and you try to pull it up, it's going to say this side, the item control.exe is that shortcut I can't even speak properly, refers to has been changed or moved. The shortcut no longer works properly. So basically the shortcut is broken. So it doesn't say anything about you don't have permission to access it. It says the shortcut is gone because, well, we deleted it. So yeah, so a scammer would have no idea what the hell happened because, well, control panel is gone. It says nothing about access, about the permissions not being available. So yeah, they won't be able to access msinfo32. So yeah, run. And then if you go to msinfo32, if you try to do that, that wouldn't work. I just typed it wrong. msinfo32, that wouldn't work. And then they would try control panel, and that wouldn't work. So yeah, they might install their own program. So that's why I renamed it. You can also rename this too. Vortex. I'm just gonna rename it Vortex Modulator. There we go. Vortex Modulator. Totally makes sense. I don't even know what that's supposed to be, but we changed it. So yeah, that's basically the tutorial. You've disabled control panel. Now if you want to re-enable access to control panel, all you need to do is you just need to go back to GP edit. Oh, before we end up the video, I need to show you how to clear out run. So before we do that, I'm actually going to show you how to re-enable control panel. So you're going to go back down to the same menu you did before and open prohibit access to control panel, and then you're just going to click either not configured or disabled, and then that will re-enable control panel, and you can obviously go in and then change whatever you want in here. So yeah, that's how you disable control panel. You can disable it whenever you want, but we can do it so a scammer won't notice. So what we're going to need to do, last thing of the tutorial, is we're going to need to head over to run, and as you can see, it has the previously typed in commands for run. So we're going to clear that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do reg edit see if I can get this right. All right, so you're going to head over to HKey local or HKey current user. Then you're going to use a drop down and let's see, software, Microsoft, and you're going to go down, Windows, current version, and then you're going to hit Explore. Scroll down until you see run.rmu, and you should see your previously typed commands over here. So we have a gp edit and msinfo. All you're going to do is you're going to delete, delete, yes, delete, yes. So now, if we head back over to run, not what I wanted to do, run, as you can see, it's totally clear. So scammer wouldn't know the previous commands you typed, so unless they know the command already, or they know what you did, they're not going to know how you did it. So, guys, that is the end of the tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. As of if it'll actually trick a scammer, I have no idea. I've not tried it on a scammer yet. I will. But yeah, that's the end of the tutorial. You can uninstall CC Cleaner because that's kind of a giveaway if they open it. I've never seen a scammer open CC Cleaner, but I would just uninstall it just to be safe. Yeah. Thanks guys for watching. My name is Snipes, and I will see you later.